coming to this stream. There seems to be one person here already. Hello, person who's already here. Nice to see you. Got it on harpsichord. In honour of Doctor Who Rogue. Yeah. Doesn't sound much like a harpsichord, does it? But I thought it might be a little bit more Bridgerton than the piano sound. But it isn't really, is it? 2 people here. Did you see that? Did you see that? Did you see that? Doctor Who. That doesn't sound anything like a harpsichord, does it? Very tinny for a harpsichord. Nice to see you anyway. Nice to see you, Nice. I've got my keyboard here with all powered up and everything's good. Very happy Sunday evening to you too. And yes, and I shall be doing the best I can to write a song for you. Even though I don't know how to play this, I can do the best I can. Did you see the doctor kissed a man? It's not the first time he's done that though. Hello, Philip. It's not the first time he's done that though. And everybody was so shocked. No, they weren't. My mother was a little bit shocked. And she said stuff, but I was just going, get on in there, guy. Do it. That's what we were waiting for. Why not? That's Jonathan Groff there. He was George III in Hamilton. And you'll be back. And he'll be back. He'll definitely be back. Clapping myself, I don't know why. I'm going to put this back on piano if I can. So how's everyone been? Have you had a gunshot? That doesn't sound like gunshot. Just weird. Applause. That doesn't sound like applause. Yes, applause. That's piano. Back to piano. Happy Sunday, everyone. Happy Sunday. After it finally stopped raining. Yes, well, nice if it didn't. If it rained. Anyway, it was D-Day this week. Did you see it? Somebody from the government here didn't see it, 'cause they went back home to get an ITV interview. Oops. Yeah, so that was good. That was basically all that happened this week was D-Day and people messing up. And D-Day? What's D-Day? What do you mean, what's D-Day? Chase, it's Destination Day. It's the day that the Allied forces went into France and fought back against the enemy forces and tricked them. But I think they thought they were going to land one place, and it's like, oh no! There was a long film about it, The Longest Day, where every single male film star of the time, all of them, like you're talking about John Wayne. You're talking about Sean Connery, you're talking about Sal Mineo, you're talking about other actors. There's a lot of actors. Anyone that was an actor when it was made in the early 60s was in that film. It's very much like it's like Band of Brothers of its time, really. Have you not seen Saving Private Ryan? Saving Private Ryan is a slightly more modern getting on there in the whole thing. It's like they stormed and the forces. It's the anniversary of that. It's, I think, 75 years, something like that. It's a long time. 70 years. It's a while. 70 years, 80 years, 80 years. Doesn't time fly when you're not really paying much attention to time? You need to watch them. Yes, if you see the longest day, you can see it from start to finish, everything that happened, and on the Normandy landings. That's what it is. It's a day to remember the sacrifices that were made. Exactly. And yes, and it's not a day to make political capital out of it. It's a day to celebrate. It's a day to commemorate, but it's not a day to make political capital. I don't think so. Yes. So there's a difference between celebrating and acknowledging the sacrifices of those that went before and using it to score some points off people, which is a bad thing. I think we should all agree. But when somebody wasn't respectful enough to even stay for the whole ceremony and meet world leaders, then no. Not a good look for anyone, really. And so this has got a bit political, hasn't it? It's political. Yes, it's political now. Oops. Yes, it's gone political. Yeah, so that's really, yeah. So I've got opinions. I'm trying not to be political about things. But I've been having lots of dreams lately. You're not supposed to remember your dreams unless they're saying something about your life. And I think some of them are. Some of them certainly are. But I made friends with, I made more than friends actually, with somebody political that's on the internet. We were very close in this dream. Like close, really close. I've had a couple of those dreams lately, but really close. But then that person decided that they didn't want to talk to me in real life because I'd exhibited socialist views. I'm sorry for anyone that's not quite left wing. I am, and I was in this dream even more so, maybe. Anyway, they didn't want to be seen with me because they were politically neutral. Now, in actual real life, this person is not a politically neutral person at all. They are very, very much left of centre. So I think they probably didn't want to be seen with me because I'm an embarrassing person all around. That's it. So thank you very much, Chase. But so I'm embarrassing, too embarrassing for someone in a dream to talk to me and make sure they're seen with me. They're never ever seen with. Never seen with me. Never seen with me because I'm so embarrassing and far too politically left wing, apparently. This dream person said, even though they are very much well known for their very left-wing views. So I don't know what's going on there. Obviously my psychology, my psyche is going, oh yes, you're too embarrassing. So I've got a lot of friends in my dreams, but even my friends in my dreams don't want to be seen with me. I mean, what's that all about? Anyway, so that was good. Anyway, did you see Doctor Who? Did you see it? I did the thing at the beginning with that, and yes, that was interesting, and there's all sorts of theories and speculations about what's going on and who's the boss that Rogue was talking about. Spoilers! If you haven't seen it, I'm sorry. Spoilers! Not yet. Anyway, spoilers! So I can't talk about it. Spoilers! I put a video up about it anyway. So I won't say anything more because spoilers! So I will not say anything about that anymore. Anything more than I've already said. Which is you need to wait and binge the whole season. That's a good idea. You've only got a week to wait. And that's it. Because Ollie, my old flatmate, said, why don't you do more Doctor Who? He only tunes in for Doctor Who. But half of you haven't seen Doctor Who. And the other half aren't interested in Doctor Who. So it's difficult. Greetings. Nice. I hope Hickory, North Carolina is. Hickory sounds nice because of the smoky wood. Lovely smoky hickory barbecue wood. I like smoke flavouring. Yes, especially natural smoke because the artificial stuff's getting banned by the EU. Even though we're not in the EU, we're probably still having it banned because you can't sell it there. So that's, I like artificial, named after, yes, a pub, Hickory Smoke Pub. Yes, I don't know what, I missed a couple of comments because my phone is smaller than it was. I've got a new old phone, my brother's old phone, which I started using, and it's that far from my face, and my eyes aren't very good anyway, and I'm like, what did that say? So sorry about that. My eyes are terrible, and I can't see what you're saying. So I'm catching one comment in 10, but I would try to acknowledge you if I can. Yeah. I'll turn this off. This is. I'm just. Yeah, somebody said they'd help me with this keyboard, and if I had got any sheet music, they'd help me with it. But I'm a lazy SOB, and so I probably. Oh, what's a thing to say about my mother? Lazy. I'm thinking about me, not about my. Yes. So this is difficult. Oh, how have I been? I've been all right. Ishy shish. Ishy shish, my ankle feels a little bit better. You know, I went over on it, but it's still hurting a little bit. But I think it's not as bad. The thing is, because I'm putting more pressure on this one that I didn't break, that I hurt 2 or 3 years ago. I have been saying. So it's slowly getting better, and it's not hurting so much, and I'm not twisting it so much when I move. So yeah, but my ankles aren't. My ankles, yeah, it's if I poke it, it still hurts a bit. But if I don't poke it or don't twist it, then it's not so. Like I'm poking it now, poke, and it's hurting a bit. But apart from that, I'm fine, thank you. How are you? That's it. When people say how are you, you're actually supposed to go, how are you? Back. And that's it. Don't answer. That's what you're supposed to say. If in polite society, if people go, how are you? You go, I'm fine. How are you? If you say anything more than I'm fine, how are you? Then, so it's very difficult for me to not give a whole blow-by-blow account of all the terrible things that have happened and how everything's awful and all the things that have happened and what I've eaten for breakfast and all that sort of stuff. So I decided today that when people say, how are you? I'll go, how are you? And I won't even answer anything because then I'm not tempted to say anything. So, how are you? And then I'll just like, oh, okay. And then, and if they give a blow-by-blow account of all the terrible things that happen, I'll just, that's terrible. Because that's it. People get very annoyed if you say stuff about yourself, but they're happy to say stuff about themselves. And I will listen and sympathise and empathise. But they don't like it when you say anything about yourself at all. People don't like it. People like to talk about themselves. So you say stuff about yourself. So now that sounds like I'm very, very callous, that I'm not interested. I am interested in other people's lives. I'm very interested in what happens in other people's lives. So, I'm quite happy to listen to people's long stories. 50 or 60 times. I've had friends that have told me the same story many times, and by the maybe 50 or 60th time, I am starting to get a little bit bored about it. Have I told you this before? Yes. But they carry on talking about it. But it's fine, as long as it's not the 51st time is when it starts to get a little bit too much. But for the first 50 times, I'm quite happy to listen to it. It's just after a little while, it's like, so I empathise with you as well, because you must have heard the same stories from me about 1 million times by now, because I've been doing this for so long that I'm looping around to the same stories. Every now and then it's like, I've told you that story. I must have told you that story, because how many times have I done this half an hour talk? Of course I'm going to do the same story. I mean, famously, stand-up comedians used to have like 10 to 20 minutes of material that they would take around all the clubs, and then if they went on TV, they'd use their 5 best minutes on TV. The rest of it was just filler, maybe, and then their careers would be like dead because they wouldn't have any more material left. You can't get away with that. You have to have loads of material, and you have to keep going and have more and more material. But yeah, so I haven't got a polished 5 minutes. I've got a little very loose, hundreds and hundreds of hours of very loose, all over the place. Yeah. So nothing that's a tight ball of material. Oh, like in Labyrinth. Oh, I've actually got those things like in Labyrinth. I just thought, are you there? Are you there? Did you see? Whoopsie. Labyrinth. That's what I mean, so I can demonstrate. What babe? The babe with the power. What power? The power of hoodoo. Hoodoo. I do what? Remind me of the babe. What babe? The babe with the power. What power? So apparently David Bowie couldn't do this, so he had to have a hand double to do it. It's creepy looking, isn't it? Anyway. Fondling the balls. Yes, so Cane Mutiny. And then the Cane Mutiny. Remind me of the babe. What babe? Which is also Abbott and Costello. You remind me of the man. What man? The man with the power. What power? The power of voodoo. Hoodoo. You do. I do what? Remind me of the man. What man? Who's on first? Different routine. Yes, so I've got so talking of material, yes, I completely encyclopedic knowledge of all the comedians that have gone before without actually having any material of my own. I could quote you Nutter on the Bus, Jasper Carrot, yeah. double seat, gotta get a double seat. Ben Elton. No, I used to love loads of old comedy and comedy routines. Yes, Cake or Death, Eddie Izzard. Yeah, loads of words that are from lots of other people's best of everybody else's. That parrot's a dead parrot. Funny Walk, Ministry of Funny Walk there, yeah. Whatever. Anyway, so I've been all right. So back to the question. Back to the question. I've been all right this week, but I haven't really done an awful lot or been anywhere very far. I've been for a couple of little walks. Like I've been trying to lose weight. I don't know whether you've noticed I've little bit thinner than I was, but not a lot, because it's very difficult to lose weight. I don't know whether anybody's actually tried. It's like and I've got scales that seems to, I'm sure I have lost weight. I'll step on the scales, and this electronic scales goes, nope, more, you've put on weight. And I'm like, surely not. So I don't know what's happening, really. I've got absolutely no idea what's going on with all of that. So I've been doing that. So the oldest joke known, found on clay tablets, roughly translated, it reads, "You look marvelous." Well, it's like consequences, this, isn't it? Like one person says something, and then you know that thing where you put in a little story or somebody's head, and then you fold it over, and then you continue it. So you either get a picture of people, or you get a little story. That's such a good game. That's a good game where you write the first line, and then somebody writes another line, and then you've got a story that's completely random. And you're like, so that's a brilliant game. I think we should play that with everyone. Yes. Okay. That looks like a rude one. Okay. Is that an Egyptian one? Oh! Is that a real joke? Interesting. Yeah, so those sort of jokes are probably the oldest jokes because they involve bodily functions and things that everybody goes, ha ha, that's universal. And everybody knows, but there's like things that's happened in society, and you go, well, that's a universal joke. It's like, well, that's how your society operated, but is that how everybody's? It's like, okay, interesting. It is the oldest joke is probably, yes, that's probably it. The oldest joke is a fart joke. There's a lot of jokes. There's probably other jokes that were older than that, but we do not have them because they were written on a clay tablet that got dropped or rewritten. Was it palimpsest? where you write something and then you rub it out and write something on top, so you can just about see the vague. So maybe the fart joke is written on top of another, even ruder joke underneath it. But yeah, there's a lot of rude jokes in history. There's I did spooky history. I used to write for Spooky History channel, which you can find them. And there's one about the tricks of Loki, and there's the whole jokey Loki stories. Talking of which, back to Doctor Who. I know you haven't seen Doctor Who, but Doctor Who this week. Well, this week for now, if you're watching it, it's called Rogue, so it might be a different week if you're watching this on record. In years from like that fart joke, this will be found and people will be out of context what's going on there. Anyway, no, the Rogue episode Rogue was written by the people that wrote the Loki, the Disney series Loki. So so also spoiler, like get ready for a spoiler and go la 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 la. Spoiler, la 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 la. If you're having it, Richard E. Grant was in it. Just his face. Sorry if you listened to that and you didn't go, I did tell you. And they still do that, yeah. And he was in Scream of the Shalka, which is in 2004, I think, which is just a little bit before the returning series. I think it was 2004. And at the time, it was an animated BBC series, it's still available, I think, there, was touted as it was a canon event, it was canonical, he was actually the official Ninth Doctor. And then Christopher Eccleston came along. He's like, well, he's the official Ninth Doctor now, and he was wiped from history, wiped from people's memories. Yes, exactly. Selectively forget. So, wiped from people's memories. So, it's not really a spoiler because it happened in 2004. But it is canon. It wasn't canon. It was canon. And then it was canon and it wasn't canon. Now it is canon again, apparently, now that they've started it all over again. But possibly because Richard E. Grant was in Loki as Loki, and the people that wrote Loki wrote this episode and went, let's put him back in the lineup. So he is back in the lineup. So he is now officially one of the Doctors. And he was also in Curse of the Fatal Death, which was the Children in Need special, which Rowan Atkinson and Hugh Grant and lots of other people were in as well. Joanna Lumley, I think, ended up being the Doctor as well in there. So all of those. So if Richard E. Grant's Curse of the Scream of the Shalka Doctor is canonical, then maybe all the Children in Need Doctors are also canonical. And they weren't quite in the lineup, but Joanna Lumley and Rowan Atkinson and Hugh Grant are also actually the Doctor. So there you go. So any BBC incarnation, so that would also include Lenny Henry then, because he was in a sketch where he was the Doctor. So yeah, so as far as I'm concerned, they are all the Doctor, and you can't tell me they're not, because they are. They are now. Ha 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 ha. And it's all coming back to me now. It's so that's what happened this week. Nothing to me, but there was the D-Day celebrations, and the Prime Minister of this is it, right? Because Parliament was dissolved. In my mind, that means the Prime Minister was dissolved. Not literally, because that would be messy. But that the Prime Minister isn't really the Prime Minister anymore anyway, because Parliament has been dissolved. There's a sort of interim period, an interregnum, a sort of fallow, invisible part of time, a time between Parliament being dissolved and the new Parliament starting, where not really any Parliament, so there's not really any Prime Minister. So technically, in my mind, he's not really the Prime Minister anymore. He is in-betweeny person. So whether he turns up or not, it's like, whatever. There was David Cameron was there, and he was the Prime Minister before the Prime Minister before the Prime Minister before the Prime Minister before the Prime Minister before. Some Prime Ministers ago now, but he was there. And also Keir Starmer was there, who is probably going to be the next Prime Minister. So you got two Prime Ministers there, so whether we've got the one that's not really there anymore, doesn't want to be there. I think he wants to go to America. And who can blame him. Really? You've got millions of pounds to spend, then you may as well go and spend it there. Spend it wherever you want. I don't know, whatever. This is also, there's a whole thing about private schools paying taxes. And I think private schools should pay tax, but I also think that you should be able to send your kid to private school only if all the other schools are brought up to the same standard as private schools, so they've all got the same education, and that you're paying extra tax and you're paying all your money to the private school for your kid to go to an education which is of no use more than another so everybody's education is of the same standard, and it should be, and you've just paid money just to go, oh, I send my kid to this private school, and everybody just goes, because you've wasted your time and money. That's what I think should happen to private schools, that you are free to send your kids to private school on the understanding that all the staff at the private school get loads of money, and everyone that works there gets really good money, and that they can use it in society. That's what it is. Money, if you've got loads of money, I think you should spend as much of it as possible, because what on earth else is it for? And you should buy all the luxury items, but you should also make sure that you're like paying people well, so that everybody benefits from it. This is like the whole thing about trickle down economics. It doesn't work, because people don't spend their money. They just sit on like a big dragon, like Smaug, sit on a big pile of money, go, look at my pile of money, when actual you should just spread it around and go, money, have some money, and then everybody can go, money, because it's useless anyway. I have a thing, so everybody's got things, and everybody gets the things, and it actually genuinely trickles down like a chocolate fountain, rather than as it works now, where it's just like pile of money, I've got a pile of money, and I do nothing with my money. Oh, it's so funny, ha ha ha. So children's safety is very important, yes. So it should be safe. Yeah, everyone should be safe at school, and all the money, don't throw it in, like, it's quite hard money, really. Don't throw it in people's faces, because it would be what gold, a lump of gold. Yeah, that is messy and dangerous, obviously, but theoretically you don't throw physical money, you throw digital money. Doesn't hurt so much then. So yeah, that's how I think that economy should work. Everybody should spend, if they've got lots of money, they should spend all the money for a service that's exactly the same as everybody else's service, but you've had fun doing it, because you can go, status symbol, and everyone just laugh at you because you're so foolish for spending all your money on something useless. You should just spend it on gold bricks, and build your whole house out of gold bricks. That's what you should do. And then why not? No, that's useless, because then, well, a gold bricks even, yeah, and then you should melt your gold brick house down and make another, and then spend more money and give services and tradesmen and craftspeople, not just the men, all of them, lots of money. That's what you should do. In an ideal society, it shouldn't matter. But we should all be able to eat and clothe ourselves and be safe and comfortable and have free, lovely water. That's, everybody should have everything. This is see how very, is this ridiculous? This is an ideal utopian society where everybody has a lot of lovely time and it's all safe and nobody worries about everything. But if you've got a big pile of money more than everyone else, then you should be forced to spend it all on other things that other people can benefit for. I don't know. I've lost you all. There was like 7 people and I've driven you away with my absolute ranting about nothing. I agree. That's not going to work, and it's mainly not going to work because nobody's going to do that, and everyone's going to resent it, because that's what happens with money. You resent it. Everyone resents everyone else. Anyway, still here. Good. Yeah, I know you be. Well, I think regulation, in fact, I think there should be more regulation, in that everybody should be safe and it should be completely regulated. Yeah. the opposite. I'm just saying things now. It's like, yeah, complete regulation. Everyone should be free to do whatever they want, as long as that whatever they want doesn't harm anyone else in any shape or form. So it's sort of backwards, because libertarians, I think, believe in no regulation and personal freedom. And I think personal freedom, except for when it affects other people adversely and badly. If that happens, then you should go, no. Like, don't be smoking in people's faces and stuff. Or, like, drink driving. You definitely shouldn't do that. Bad. But if people want to do stuff that doesn't harm them and makes them happy, then that's great. As long as that thing isn't being horrible and doing terrible things to other people. In which case, no, I don't think so. So, I don't know. It's not really a formed... I don't think I'm going to be Prime Minister anytime soon with these not half-baked, all over the place policies. Like, I said something and my dad was like, oh, you've got very strong views on everything. It's like, not really. I just hear something and like come up with some ridiculous random notion that's not going to really work. It sometimes sounds like that's something that I'm really believing in, but I don't actually believe in anything. To be honest, I'm a bit of a moral vacuum, but I think everybody should be lovely to each other and not be mean, and we should all have human rights. I think that's fair enough, isn't it? Anyway, that's why I'm Prime Minister now in the interim period between Rishi Sunak and whoever is going to come into power. Could be anyone. It's not going to be anyone. It could be certain people. But maybe in that interim period, me that's got my half-baked thoughts about everybody being nice to each other. That'll never work. People being kind. Fair. Anyway, yeah. So that was my political forum point. What are they called? Party political broadcast. That's it. Yes, my party political broadcast for the Be Lovely to Each Other party. Yeah, it's the vote winner. All right. I will see you very shortly. Thank you very much for joining me for this, whatever this was, and I'll see you again next week. Maybe. Who even knows? Right. Bye-bye. See ya.